All right, next up we have Deedra Abboud, who is running for U.S. Senate. Yep. She's a civil rights advocate and immigration attorney, and has been defending the rights of our most vulnerable communities and cultivating leadership within them. Deedra Abboud.
It is wonderful to be here and see all the diversity that is in love with science. I want to thank Sedona for putting this together. She showed true leadership in bringing us to talk about science, something we just don't get to do very often. I also want to appreciate the translation. I grew up with sign language, and I cannot believe how we have discontinued to have this in the public spaces. Last night I was asked, why is there a science march? Who's attacking science? When public education is being gutted, defunded, and deliberately made to fail, we're attacking science. When we are not allowed to access alternative medicines, when we are not allowed to research the possibilities of what alternative medicines can bring us for our health, science is under attack. When elected leaders say that women cannot get pregnant with unless it's a legitimate rape, science is under attack. When elected leaders say that global warming is a good thing because people won't freeze to death, science is under attack. When the president proposes budget cuts for the U.S. Department of Energy, the Environmental Protection Agency, and scientific advancement projects across our country, science is under attack. Common sense tells us what we do to our environment affects our environment. Common sense tells us that we suffer when we do not hold corporations accountable for poisoning our water, our air, our food. That poisons us. That poisons our children. And that poisons everything we can have in our future, the very future of our country. Common sense tells us that innovation, economy, education, healthcare, everything that we need in life depends on pursuit of science and technological resources and funding and education. I'm here to deliver a message of resistance and unity, because standing together, I see all of us that make up the fabric of our society, that we care about the environment and each other. What I see in front of me is people who believe that united, we rise. We are fighters, we are innovators, we are change makers. We know that Earth Day and any other day, it is up to us, every single one of us, to protect the finite and limited resources that our environment so preciously provides us. Because when we're united, we cannot be ignored. Because when we're united, we rise. I'm originally from Arkansas, born and raised. I come from a single parent. I went to public school, and we did not have health care. We lived in that space in between that many Americans have either visited or still live in, where we could barely get by, but we didn't qualify for any public assistance. There are too many Americans who have to visit that place. There are too many Americans who have to live in that place. We can do better. People work hard to take care of their families. People work hard so they can have a proud future for themselves and their children. We expect our elected leaders to reciprocate by being honest, by investing in our children's future, by policies that put people first, not corporations, by policies that put people and environment first, not corporations, by policies that put people, our children, our future, our environment first, not Wall Street. I moved to Arizona in 1998 after visiting this beautiful state and absolutely falling in love. I even love the heat every day. When 9/11 shook our country, I became an advocate. Not because I was a Muslim experiencing hate and fear-mongering, but because I was American. All of us were fearful of our future. All of us were fearful of the attacks on our American values in the streets where we lived, when we had to start looking at our neighbors with concern, and our neighbors were confused that we were looking at them with concern. We can do better. I spent 15 years on the ground in Arizona, all over the state, working with diverse communities on the fights that we needed to fight to make my friends and my neighbors safe, to make my friends and my neighbors have better lives, to hold politicians accountable for how they were destroying our very families and our lifestyles. During that time, I became an attorney, and I also opened up my own law firm and a consulting business. But last year I saw the writing on the wall. I saw that families, friends, and neighbors were being torn apart by the rhetoric. Not just the national rhetoric, it was coming down. It was hitting us in the grocery store. Everybody was receiving verbal attacks, whether it was over politics or rhetoric or just characteristics that we had. I knew that I had to be part of the movement that united our country, because it didn't matter who won that election. The damage was done. I could either sit back and be sad, or I could stand up and say, together we can do this. I believe our contributions can be put to better use. I believe we can work together to strengthen our schools and give the teachers they need to excel our students into the future, into a global market that we can all be proud of. I believe that we can defend women's rights to control their own body. I believe that we can create jobs for the people in our state. I believe that we can create opportunities for entrepreneurs, and that is absolutely necessary, and we cannot do that without science and technology. I believe that we can protect the environment because we have to face the reality, and it is a reality. It doesn't matter what people want to argue about statistics. The bottom line is, what you do to the environment comes back. We have to take care of the environment. It matters on every level of our life. We cannot sit on the sidelines and let elected leaders continue to vote against our values without question and without explanation. Women, people of color, and the working class have been told since the beginning of time what we cannot do, and we have constantly proved them wrong. I spent my entire professional career bringing groups together so that we could work on the issues that matter to us. Because I am a good neighbor, I am a good friend, and I know that all the people here came together because we feel the same. We want to love our neighbors, protect our neighbors, make a better environment, and work together to solve our problems and stop blaming other people in groups. We want problem solvers. We have a lot of work to do to defend against the attacks on our families, our friends, our neighbors, our environment, and our values. And together we can get the job done. Because when we unite, we rise. Say it with me. When we unite, we rise. One more time. When we unite, we rise. I have a booth. I am here to meet all of you because communication and relationships is what everything in this country makes it great, and we grow and we can move forward together.